Hello, Internet! I'm Elliot, the purple-haired doofus, and welcome to The House of Leaves by Mark Z. Danielewski. I have no idea if I said that right. I don't know much about this book. What I've heard is it's one of the most daunting reads anyone will ever read. Also, this is one of the books that my friend Curtis left me before he was no longer with us. So, this particular series is dedicated to him and anyone who is struggling out there. Talk to people. I've only read the prologue so far, which is basically the foreword of how this editor found this book. It's already starting to irritate me, because it basically turns the reader of the book into this character and trope that I hate. I know my lights aren't up right now. I just wanted to do this really quickly because I'm going on a trip this weekend, and I know that you're seeing this Monday, but I'm recording it Thursday. Hello, people of the future! I wanted to record it before I left. That way I could read as much as possible over the weekend and gauge how I wanted to separate this out. But anyways, the prologue, the beginning. You have this guy, and he's telling stories about being in love with a stripper and having this life that's just not good. He finds this manuscript because a friend of his tells him that he has something to show him, something horrible and awful to show him. He goes to see what he's talking about, and he goes to this house, and it's filthy. There's garbage everywhere, and the windows are like cocked closed with caulking gun and everything, and it just sounds really gross. They find the manuscript for The House of Leaves. It starts talking about how, while he was reading it, he started caulking his windows closed. That's not good. Because basically what it's saying is, if you read this, you'll go crazy and start living in squalor. And so don't read it. I hate it when I'm reading a story and someone smart, or someone who has been through this, says, don't do that thing, and then the character just goes ahead and does the thing anyways. That's basically what the prologue has turned me into. The prologue has said, you can either put this book down now and walk away unscathed and not crazy, or you could continue reading and go crazy. So I know right ahead of time that this book is going to be daunting, this book is going to be crazy, and yet I'm still reading it. I'm reading it because a friend of mine, Haley, requested it. Haley, since I know that you're watching this, I'm going to request that you start the Fables comics. Hold on. So why am I reading this book? I'm reading this book because a friend of mine suggested it to me. Haley has been reading this, and she said, well, I'm really not liking this book too much. I'm kind of bored by it, but it's kind of interesting and I can't stop reading. So I want you to read it and figure out, what's going on. And I said I'd make a series out of it. Haley, since I'm reading The House of Leaves, I want you to start reading Fables the comics. Especially since you just finished A Wolf Among Us, and that is the prequel to the Fable comics. So now you can just dive right into them, because they're kind of awesome. Admittedly, I think I gave you an easier assignment than you gave me. Because even though I've only read the prologue, and it was pretty straightforward, I'm very, very terrified. Because this book is supposedly, it's like the second edition of this story. It's like 700 pages, but 250 to 300 of them are appendixes and add-ons. I'm just like, oh dear God, no, why? I dive right back into this whole booktube thing, and I go with one of the most daunting books in the world. Yeah. I don't have a question prepared for you, because like I said, I was recording this really quickly before I left. Hopefully I will have questions in the next video. I'm just going to say it. I've read up to chapter 8. Tomorrow we will cover up to the point chapter 5 and see how that goes. I've been the Purple Hair Doofus, reminding you to watch a Pajama Radius, and I will see you all in the beginning chapters of The House of Leaves by Mark Z. Danielewski. It's even difficult to say his last name. Toodles!